And we're back with Villaincast. This is Reap the Week with El Jefe and the Villain, El Jeff, for anyone who has been listening long enough. Not sure which Villaincast episode this is now. I think maybe 14 or 15. I'm just surprised we're getting to that many episodes. There will be other guests. It's not just me and Naqi. Thank you to everyone on the Discord channel for all the conversations that are coming up. There's more stuff coming up soon through the Discord and through the YouTube channel, through Instagram, through Facebook. With gyms opening up soon, there is an intention to do classes recorded, and the classes I do in my gym, I put them online. If anyone's interested in that, we're also looking at possibly the privates get recorded. There'll be narrated roles with Naqi and other people involved. And finally, it's going to start off as like, we'll see how all these different ideas go, but people who are on the Discord channel, if you want to upload rolling footage to that and get it broken down by Naqi or myself, please, we'll start doing that as we can safely start training again. Quick shout out to the sponsors. Just have to leave a gap for them every week and hope that one day they arrive. I will talk to the sponsor I think I have. He may want to be in this. I'm not sure. I don't even know if this exists. Merchandise is still promised. It will come. I promise. This is an episode gonna feature. If you haven't listened to it already, maybe pause this one and come back to it a bit later. It's the Sonny Brown breakdown with Preet and Andy from School of Grappling having a debate on offense versus defense. It came out a few days ago. Naqi and I both listened to it. And this episode, along with various other things I'm sure we'll move on to. So if you want to get a heads up on that episode first, please go listen to it, then come back to us as soon as you can. Other than that, hey Naq, how's it going?
How's it going, man? You good?
You have a fantastic looking hairdo. I think I mentioned that just before we went live. It's looking sharp, sir.
Thank you. The advantage of everything being open now.
Yes, for everyone listening, if you're not from the UK, so barbers, hairdressers, and various other shops could open up yesterday. Gyms could open up, but we can't do indoor classes. Yeah. So despite me being maybe a bit too optimistic when I started to advertise that we were opening again, we're not allowed to yet. And so another month yet before we can do those things. So Naqi has prepared himself already. He looks fly. I, on the other hand, have just been like hiding. For anyone that listened to this on audio only, I'm currently showing what horrendous mop of hair I have. So maybe go to the YouTube channel for that one if you're that way inclined. Hopefully not. Yeah, how's it going, Naq?
Yeah, man, good.
Good. Yes. Pardon?
Started work as well now, so it's all good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, you can be back, can't you? You can do your sessions again. We'll be back in the gym soon. We can do stuff soon. I'm sure we will. Yeah, the rust will set in otherwise. So we'll get into the crux of the episode. So this is a reaction podcast, reaction video, reaction Villaincast to the debate between Preet and Andy, offense versus defense podcast. There will be a link. I'll try and put a link to that in the description of this video. So if you find it on Podbean or YouTube, it should be able to find that to then go listen to it if you already hadn't. Otherwise, whatever podcasting media you use, go look up Sonny Brown, and it's one of the latest episodes, Preet versus Andy, offense versus defense. So I was expecting, like, me and like Naq, like, got ourselves ready for this. Like, who's going to win, offense versus defense? Like, should we set aside like a whole like 2 episodes to do a reaction to this? We both listened to it and we both just went, It's two guys agreeing with each other really politely for an hour and a half. So I'm not sure how much reaction we can give to it, dude.
Nah, man. I was like, same as you. I was driving and I was thinking, okay, he said one thing, okay, and now it's Preet's turn. Okay. So basically, he just said the same thing in a different way. And I'm like, okay.
Literally, I was waiting for them to like pull the knives out or something. Like, come on, guys! Like, it's almost like you got this like it's like the cartoon like monkey fight. You just like throw two knives on the floor and like go for it, and they're just like hugging each other. You're like, this is boring. Like, it's not boring. Just like stab each other.
Exactly. I love how Andy was using like ancient analogies when he was on about the sword and the shield, and I was like, I'm driving and I'm imagining it in my head, and I'm like, why am I thinking about medieval sword fighting right now when I'm driving?
I think I was doing the same. I think I actually listened to whilst I was driving as well. I was just pondering the whole. It did make me think. Like the initial way he explained it, I was like, well, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And then for it just to be exactly what Preet was saying as well, I was like, oh, we're getting nothing from this.
Yeah.
No, we got something from it. It just wasn't what we were expecting.
Yeah.
We were expecting like, knives out and people to start being stabbed and stuff, except it didn't come. It was just two guys agreeing with each other's methodology, just saying it in different ways. So one of the main takeaways I had from it then is, like I said, it's mostly about their approach to teaching, which I think between them, their approach to teaching is vastly different to mainstream jiu-jitsu ways of teaching. And it's something we've adopted as well, except I think ours is slightly different, and we'll go into that a little bit later about how we've changed. And it's also interesting, if you haven't listened to the episode already, going back to the one I did with Omid, it was about 5 or 6 episodes ago. That was a really good insight to how he teaches and how he grades progression in his gym, which I think we align closer to his way than maybe Preet and Andy's way, which is interesting considering I got my black belt from Preet. We have deviated a little. It was just an interesting thing I noticed on that one. But yes, your thoughts, Naq, on what they were saying. Your initial thoughts before we debate. My initial thoughts
for debate. I'm done debating these days, mate. You can't debate with people anymore.
I think I could maybe tease it out of you before the end of this podcast, I'm sure.
No. We'll it was interesting, man. Like, it was just two guys saying the same thing, but very politely to each other. And it was I think it was the last question. And I was like, oh, he's getting interested in you. When Preet said, I kind of disagree with you, but maybe eventually we'll agree. But your initial point of what you made, I disagree with. I'm like, okay. And I think it was when they were on about counter fighting, and he was mentioning like Kyle Drake and wrestlers who use a counter-attacking or a counter-defensive way of fighting. And I think if they'd have touched on about that a bit more, they would have agreed, I think, eventually. It's just, I think it comes down to the individual, because it gives you the freedom to do whatever kind of player you want to be. If you want to be a defensive player, you can be a defensive player. If you want to be an offensive player, then being a good defender will naturally make you a good attacker, or give you an understanding of what a good attack is, because you will be dealing with people who are giving you good attacks, and if you're defending them, then obviously they have to make their attacks better. And I think it's just tit for tat. And what they were saying to each other was like, okay, he's going back and forth agreeing.
I think that's pretty much what the main crux of everything they were saying was that they were both agreeing that you need to have better defense for attacks to be better. So we should be working on defense. I think what kind of caused a little bit of friction maybe towards the end, where they started to disagree a little bit, was this idea of defensive postures.
Yeah.
And like stance and stuff. I think I'd obviously I didn't want to come across this as biased because we're from Preet's side, as it were.
Yeah.
I tried to be as open as I was. Like I said, I did agree a lot with the sword and shield thing, and it was odd how that just came around to being about, they both have to coincide with each other. But I think the defensive posture thing, like every other martial art, even sword fighting that he kept on bringing up,
there's a posture,
has a defensive posture. You can't just swing around. Yeah, there's a posture, there's a stance that has always been, and it persists throughout every combat sport: boxing, wrestling, MMA, sword fighting. There is a stance, and that stance is taught to, from day one, to give you a base level of protection. And I think that is definitely something beginners should have, because that is what everyone else does.
Yeah.
As in other combat sports. I think if you were to take that away, you lose a lot of context. I mean, you can't really explain it without having offense thrown that way. But I think that comes down to, again, maybe how we differ a little bit is, I mean, I think you could probably agree with this, but it's definitely something I do in the privates as well as the classes, is I don't teach anything without going back for, like, we do the whole backwards thing. So, like, you teach the end result and then go backwards from how you get there. But every step of the way, the underlying principle is taught. So why that exists. And I am such a bugbear that I have to explain the reason for why for everything. As in, the short list of concepts I have in my head of, swoop theory or submission theories or control theories, it all boils down to, right, and this is where it fits into that. And it's kind of what maybe a bit more infuriating about the whole thing is that it didn't matter, as in the whole thing of, should you teach defense or should you teach offense?
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's the same conclusion I came to. I was like, it doesn't matter, man. Just get on with it.
Yeah, there's not, as in, there shouldn't be, it should just be something you teach. And this is how, I think that's kind of what my takeaway that was from it, was that it pretty much boiled down to this idea that this is how you just should teach, as in you should teach an offense to a good defense. And I think this is one of the interesting things that, for anyone listening, I have at some point, maybe still, work for the fire service. And we had this idea called Oscar and offensive and defensive tactics. It's just something like, it kind of like strange ideas out of my head, is that offensive is when you're doing something to deal with the situation, you're attacking it, you're going in and you're being in harm's way. And defensive is when you're out of harm's way. And, maybe things are going too crazy, you step out of it. Except then you have the idea of, you can be defensive, getting out of harm's way, but using offensive moves as in action moves. And that's kind of a confusing point in the fire service in being an officer and stuff. But I tried to then translate that to what I do in jiu-jitsu. And one of the things about jiu-jitsu is we seem to have, offensive moves, which is action moves, we are attacking. And then when it comes to when we're playing defensive moves, we play defense with offensive moves. We have to have action moves even though we're in defense. I think that's like one of the characteristics that was maybe kind of missed, is that a lot of jiu-jitsu is about doing an action move as a defense, doing a shrimp, doing a recovery of something when things go wrong. We don't have a defensive posture where we're being defensive, like a nothing. Where are we safe?
Yes.
I think that's maybe one of the weird things to try and get your head around, is that you can be defensive with offensive moves, like action moves when you are in a bad way, when you are on the receiving end, and there's moments where you can just do nothing. I think you need to know the nothing. I think you need to know the points of safety and then work back through it. Otherwise, you're missing a vital part of combat sports and jiu-jitsu if you don't have that kind of nothing position. I think everything should be worked back to that.
Yeah, I agree, man. 0 points.
Yeah, it should be a 0. I think it's a problem if we don't have that. I think it gets it doesn't give context for anything. Like we don't have the correct context for when things are going wrong.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to like a traditional martial arts kind of point of view with how jiu-jitsu is taught and maybe our mindset when it comes to jiu-jitsu and what people expect is they want answers. And this is what I think Preet was getting back to us, and like people ask him questions and they want answers,
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't know, like I don't know what you're doing, like, or the situation at hand. And it kind of goes back into like a self-defense, traditional martial arts kind of thing. As if everything that someone does, there is a action response, even if it's defensive, like you swing for a block, which is fine. Like blocks exist, counter moves exist, but people expect that. They expect when you get asked a question, they expect an action answer. But Preet says it's not sexy to give them nothing. Just lay there and say, we don't have to do anything at this point. You can do an action answer, or you can just do this, which is, as effective. And it's like, as well, I was like disagreeing with what Andy was saying as well, when he was saying about when you're defending and like maybe you go up for a block and that leaves you exposed for doing something else because you've had to react with a move, like the whole chess analogy he gave.
Yeah.
You're the person on offense forces the person on the defense to do a move that then puts them behind. And that was wrong because that goes back to this idea of you're being defensive with an offensive move. Like he didn't actually respond to this idea that, like, using the chess analogy again, you could try and move your piece to a place where your chess piece can't go.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing, is we're creating this wall that, okay, well, you can't move your chess piece there because it's not going to get through.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do a move. Your chess piece ain't going to work. Which,
exactly.
But then that kind of then destroys offense, because like, you think that then implies that a person who is playing the game doesn't understand the rules. Which is theoretically what a lot of what Preet's stuff is doing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
We'll carry on, yeah. It's showing up where the rules, it's showing up the people don't fully understand the rules of what they're doing. They're moving pieces and maybe getting wins every now and then. But then when we put our pieces in a way that they can't move through, like, oh, why can't my piece move through here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
he mentioned,
strange.
He mentioned the turning away, didn't he, in there as well, when he was saying you're told not to show your back. Well, okay, it's not wrong showing your back if you know what they're going to do or what they can do and you block everything. It's that same thing, the chess piece.
Yeah, exactly. I think all Preet's doing in a lot of ways is just making the rules, actually explain the rules of where the pieces can actually move. And showing the game its arse, really. It's saying like, oh, the piece, it can't move here. If I do this, I can put a block behind my piece, and your piece ain't moving there anymore. Sorry. Yeah. And I can make you pull a stupid move and then attack you. And then that kind of went into, because again has a lot of questions. Oh, how can I pull guard from your turtle? And again, it goes back into this whole. There's an infinite amount of information out there in jiu-jitsu, and this kind of falls into the idea of niches, and like what Preet's niche is that there's a wealth of information for like getting guard back from turtle, but it's an offensive move in a defensive situation. There isn't much talk about defensive moves in defensive situations. How do you do nothing when things are going wrong? How do you build a good, solid base that they can't attack? Like, that question, I'm like, I don't know, fucking there's loads of answers of how to get guard back. And it's an infinite amount of answers to an infinite number of probabilities of when someone's attacking you. Like, whenever re-rolled and I've ended up in that kind of turtle position, like, I don't think I've used the same way of regarding on you twice.
No, because I don't let it happen.
Exactly where you're actually going to be.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Each time you're in a different place. And I was like, oh, damn, he's moved now this time. Exactly. But it's that's not what he's kind of fulfilling.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It was interesting though. I think it's something that was needed. And it's good that they did it, and they spoke about it, both the offense and defense. But I still think people don't understand Preet and what his system, like what it's actually there for. Like, it's not just defense. We've both rolled with Preet, and when he attacks, he attacks.
Well, yeah, exactly. I can thoroughly say, out of everyone I've rolled with across the world, the most miserable rolls I've had probably with him. He is a master of inflicting suffering. He is a connoisseur of this. He dines on the fine wine of this suffering that he can inflict on you.
Yeah.
And it's like, but again, it goes back to the agreeing on this. Like, you can't, you sharpen the sword against people who have got good defense. And the way I kind of always explained it, like, again, the paradox, the irony of all this is that imagine every boxing gym. Imagine being in the boxing gym where every person throws punches without covering their chin. And everyone's got really horrible punches, and everyone just gets knocked out all the time. And everyone throws wild punches. And then you meet Preet, who shows you how to hold your hands to your face and cover your chin. And then you go back to your boxing gym, and everyone turns around and goes, what the hell, I can't punch you in the face anymore. Well, yeah. And everyone gets frustrated. And then you could either stay still and just not get punched in the face, or you can still throw your old attacks, but now not get punched in the face back. But the thing about this is that if everyone in the gym is playing it, everyone gets better at finding the gaps to throw punches.
Yes.
The sword is sharpened. And that's kind of like anyone who comes to roll with us in our gym notices that we're quite aggressive when we go for like positions, because those gaps normally aren't there.
Yeah, they're not there. Oh man, that makes me so laugh sometimes. Like, when I do roll with someone who doesn't play system, I'm like, you don't understand how hard I have to work to even get a half position like that I've got on you on a white belt in our gym. You don't understand.
I tell people to go. You've heard from this from me in the gym. I've told people to go away, go train elsewhere. You'll be happier. Like, have a night off, train somewhere else. That'll maybe give you gaps, because ours won't. And it's like, it's made us, playing defense made us more aggressive. And this idea that people, some people just want to play defense and not step out, and they would rather not lose. That was one topic that came up in the conversation, which I think that's more, that would be more like, that would be maybe a singular person in a blue moon that would be like that. Because as people who do jiu-jitsu, we are naturally competitive. Human beings are naturally competitive. Yeah. We are a product of that evolution. If we weren't competitive in some way, we wouldn't be here. It's like the whole idea of like, leave your ego at the door. Like, it's your ego that keeps you alive. Like, your will to live is an egotistical thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll leave that at the door. No, it's coming with me. I'll keep it in check and it won't be a dick, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, leave your ego at the door. That'd be dumb. I should change those signs and say, like, bring him in. Just, tell him to be good. But yeah, so the idea that someone would lie there and like just go, oh, well, I'm just going to lay here and not be beaten. Cool. Fine. That'd be one person, maybe. ever that you may come across. Everyone else, no, I still want to win, but this time I'm going to do it and not get my ass kicked at the same time. Do you know anyone in our gym just lies there and takes a beating?
Nah, man.
Exactly. And how many we have? Exactly. We always get people in, and this is the thing, like, you know, because I've obviously taught, we teach this in like a beginner's system. Like, if someone walks through the door, I tell them, put your elbows by your damn hips, don't move them ever again, and you'll be fine. They learn, they roll a few times, and they don't get caught. And like, oh, damn, cool. That's maybe a couple of sessions, and then they start attacking again. But they know why now. They know why they lose. And I think that's the like pie in the sky dreaming that someone would be like, or just, you know, you teach them that on day one, and go, oh, cool, I'm not losing. They just lie there forever. Just come in, pay their money, just lie on the floor, not get beaten up, go home, and then rinse and repeat. Never going to happen. Like, it's a sport. People want to win. That's pretty much how it's always going to be. How frustrated to listen to. I enjoyed it, but a few times I was like banging my head against the windows. Hey?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I was like, yeah. Good show.
It'd be interesting to, like I say, I highly doubt that this is going to be listened to. I might send it to Pre and say, we did a reaction to your thing. We enjoyed it. It was good. Wasn't boring. Just
we did
different.
A reaction. We did a reaction to your beef.
I expected monkey fight. Didn't expect two people to cuddle. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't beef, though. It wasn't like a steak. It was like more like sandwich meat. Like, but it was nice sandwich meat. It was like, it was tasty. Just wasn't the steak I was expecting.
Yeah.
That's like who can describe it. See how that goes down. Yeah, I may forward it on. I may even send it to Sonny, because obviously I did a podcast with him before.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We did a reaction, but completely agreeing and disagreeing at the same time for everything that was said. Yeah, it was all correct. Like, you know, it was just what they were saying didn't matter. It was like on the bigger scope of things. It was like, well, yeah, teach good defense, teach good offense. Both make both better. Does it matter? No. Just have good teaching methodology then. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that needs fixing in jiu-jitsu, is better teaching methodologies, like stepping out of this.
I agree.
Evolving. And this is what I kind of like, I think I said to you earlier in this podcast about Omid's way of looking at things, is that I'd rather have, instead of flat technique, like showing people these techniques and then leaving it, or showing them where they come from, I'd rather teach them the why of everything. So they can hit blue belt and they'd know the reason behind anything they've ever seen and anything they're ever going to see. And they can refine and problem solve. And it kind of goes back to this kind of maths analogy that I seem to be rinsing these days, is all of jiu-jitsu it's giving you examples of sums, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. But it kind of misses the point that we never actually show what times means. And I think that needs to be drilled in. Eventually you get it. And I think that's what the high belts are, is you've got it. You've just by accident and happenstance, you've come across what a times means just because you've done it so many times. But it needs to be done that, you know, every session we explain what times means, and that you can't move to blue belt unless you understand it, because it doesn't matter, because then you can solve your own sums, which would be the fun part. So you wouldn't have to ask, how do you get back to turtle from guard? Sure, that's just like, maybe it's a hard sum that you need your coach to answer for you, but you still have the right parts in your brain that would actually be able to try and figure out an answer if it came to it. Just take you longer. Your coach should be more like a calculator eventually, and not a font of knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you don't need me anymore in the gym. Like, you don't.
No, I agree.
Thanks, man.
It's just the bluntness in it. It's a reality. Like, I think anybody after purple doesn't really need, I
don't think you should
just
have
need
guidance. Blue.
You just need guidance, like a facilitator.
Exactly.
Not the back page of a book with all the answers on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think as soon as I give anyone a blue in our gym, I don't think you need me anymore.
Yeah. I
think that should be the case. Like you have the ability to figure out the answers. Come to me if the questions get really hard, but you have all the ability to answer the questions now. You know what a times is, you know what a plus is.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out because you have all these. And like times would be like, I don't know, sweep theory, and plus would be like submission theory. Because then you can backwards engineer everything. Like they've been saying, like, once you understand the core principles of a joint submission, from below the joint, etc., you could just then go, right, could I free these things? Which is what you guys do relentlessly. And it's really interesting to then play with you guys because the game is just evolving every day.
Yeah.
It changes then like how big jiu-jitsu is. Because
it's infinite, man. Infinite.
It's like getting a puzzle book eventually. Like it's nothing new to learn. You just get new puzzles all the time. Like you know how the puzzles are solved. Like Sudoku. Just get a book of Sudoku puzzles. Like I know how these are solved. It's just new puzzles for me to go through.
Yeah.
Just different difficulties of puzzles, but I know how the puzzles work. Yeah, I think we need to find a way in jiu-jitsu that is taught. Like pre-Ked was saying, like an education system, like how we are very different to an education system. In jiu-jitsu, there is no education system.
Yeah.
Like any teacher worth, I mean, you were a teacher, but any teacher worth their grain would be like, oh my God, you kindergartners, like what the hell are you doing? That's mostly how jiu-jitsu is taught. Maybe I'm bitter. Maybe it's tiredness. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's okay though. It needs to be said.
Yeah. I think you're right. And it's not to rag on. I mean, I've been to it's a rag on. I've been to enough gyms and seen different ways of teaching things that I just don't agree with it. I mean, the amount of times like we'd have seminars and be like, oh, game changing, and they forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've just taught me that exact sum and an answer.
Yeah.
Like you taught me the sums you've come across before and the answers you've given, and then you've walked out. And all I've done is I've gone, oh wow, I've never come across 16 times 16 before, but now I know. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, man.
And then 16 times 16 never comes up again.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. I sometimes think like hopefully in the near future it'll change and we'll have just a lot of stuff weeded out and we'll have like proper combat grappling sport. Everybody's learning the postures from day one.
Question is though, should it? As in I guess it should, if you're looking at it from a holistic sense of you want the sport to get better.
Yeah.
I think it's fun not having people who don't train as good.
It's a grafting. It's a hard grafting.
Yeah, exactly. Means we make money at some point because you have to teach them. That's like from Ruth's, like, I don't know, egotistical point of view. I don't really think of it that way. I just think like I say so many things just to like aggravate and irritate people. I can't remember who I was speaking to the other day. He's probably listened to this, but it's kind of like he was saying like gyms is falling out of etc. I said, oh yeah, I've got a bit of a reputation of people that don't really like me in local gyms. No, they like you. They just know you're not someone who holds back sometimes, and you can be a bit brash. No, I say some mean things sometimes. Like I'm not going like, oh no, you can get better. Like, no, you're shit. Like just that's it. Just fix your problems. So I don't really mean it that I don't want anyone to get better. I want everyone to remain shit forever so we can make money off you. It's just me joking. I don't mean any of those things. Maybe. Do you think we'd listen to all these? Do you think what would you change then? Like how we teach in the gym when we go back?
Well, after listening to the podcast?
Well, just general, yeah. Since we were told we couldn't train anymore, how would you? Because we've talked a lot and we've pondered so much. Like, what would you change in the gym?
It's a tough one, man, because I think we've got a good idea, a grasp on things now. Where we've got.
I'm just saying, if you're going to upset me, this is a loaded question. I'm asking, like, what? Go on, say something.
Hoping to hear that I say I'm gonna branch off.
No, just see if you're going to usurp me, throw me off the throne. Like,
no,
Chris,
no,
shit, we changed this.
No. I think we've got a good grasp on things, man. Like, like you said, you don't need to give as much time as you need to give to the beginners than to the like purple belts and higher, and we can do our own thing. So, it's. I think that when we opened in lockdown, when they allowed us to train last time in the second lockdown or whatever it was, and then when you were doing that split thing, I think that was quite cool because, again, we were doing our thing, but with your eye kind of on it, but you were mainly concentrating with like the, blues and below and the beginners as well. And I was like, if I'd have joined then, or like with this system, I think I would have been even better than what I am now. Like, if I'm can say.
I think like the way my brain's gone after doing that, because I don't want to like split the purpose of the gym up too much, especially when we've got so many people training together. But I think it kind of goes into how they were both talking. And the more comfortable you are with something, I think there should be more freedom on how you use it. And I think that's kind of like what I was kind of erring towards anyway, general training, is that like when I explain something, I explain the reason behind that technique, and we'll work backwards from it, along with every concept along the way. And then when it actually comes to actually drilling it and stuff, it's kind of like I want feedback from the other person. I think that's something so crucial. Like, otherwise, there's no different. Why we actually open up clubs? We can just use grappling dummies.
Yeah.
Anyone who says they get benefit out of a grappling dummy is an idiot. Not really. I like
He was still nice. You could have said something worse, but it's all right.
I just like being confrontational and just causing like shock reactions. I don't agree with any of these things. Like I used to do like a thing in slight segue. I used to do a thing in seminars where I used to go, Hickson Gracie is a fraud. And I used to say those in like Gracie affiliate gyms just to see like if someone would stab me. I didn't obviously mean it, but it was just something that amused me. Anyway, yeah. So I think there should be varying levels of resistance for multiple reasons from the person on the bottom, shall we say, because they should be giving different levels of resistance based on feedback from the person actually doing the drill, but also you should be giving feedback for your own benefit, because like we said before, the great sadness is you never feel your own pressure from side control. And it's like, well, you'd have to direct people then to actually do it. If you're just a general dummy lying there, then you're not getting anything. But if you can actually take an ownership of the moment and go, right, oh, that really hurts, that part where you're digging into my face like that, I'll have to remember that because that will suck on someone else. But then, yeah, like when you are very new to something, it's very low resistance to the point where it's almost compliant training. But then as you go up, you have a full spectrum understanding because you've really delved into the concepts around that technique area. It should be almost situational sparring. I hate the idea of situational sparring, like with an absolute passion, because it seems that you are putting weird constraints on something that wouldn't necessarily happen. Sure, like do regular sparring, and sure do. I need to find a real bad name for it, like positional drilling or something.
Well, we've got active
Positional
drilling, but
drill
we need it
sparring.
better. Yeah, drill sparring. That's the one.
Spar drilling, where
Spar.
so you have a designated winner. Because otherwise, when you situational spar, it's just like you're just having another snapshot of an actual spar.
Yeah,
Like,
it's 100%. Like you're trying to, top guy wants to win, and the bottom guy. And you're like, okay, this is a fight.
yeah, this is
You're not
actually
learning anything.
no benefit. Like have similar level of intensity, but with a designated winner. Like like say we're doing a situational spar, like this position drill, whatever you want, like situational sparring drill, whatever the name of. I'm actually going to spend some time figuring out the name for that bollocks. But say we're sitting there and we're trying to figure it out, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm the person who's going to win, and I want you to go at like 95% of like sparring intensity. Then it's going to be a lot more free flow. But then I'm like, shit, that was too much. I'm not actually getting anything out of that. Can we slow it down and maybe give me 40%? Because then I'll maybe get a bit more out of it. Like, cool, yeah, actually, I figured my shit out there. Can we ramp it back up to about 70%, please? And then we'll go back in, because then I'm actually learning shit instead of situational spar, smash, you pass my half guard. I'm like, well, I didn't learn anything there. Maybe you did. Or we go back to position drill, spar, whatever I'll call it. And then it's like, okay, well, it's now you're the winner, even though we've tried, I'm still on bottom, you're still on top. But now it's like, you're like, okay, well, we'll you've got an idea in your head what you want to work on. So you're like, okay, just give me 20% resistance. And then you're working your passing or whatever. And they're like, actually, no, that seems pretty easy. Can you ramp up to about maybe 75%? And I'm like, now giving you some beef. And you're like, oh, cool. Okay, now I get to play a bit more. You learn definitely loads more like that instead of me just leg locking you.
The only thing you learn then is to tap early.
Exactly. I think that should definitely replace the idea of situational sparring. I think it should be situational sparring with a designated winner and then just spar in general. Because otherwise it's just weird snapshots, and no one's learning actually anything. I think that would be the difference between white belt, brown belts, is that I'm pretty much setting the situation. White belts get a little bit more handheld, and then obviously get to free flow a little bit more when they do their full drilling moments. But you guys, it's like, right, this is a situation. Play from there, top, bottom, don't really care. We're looking for these kind of things. Go. And you can just go balls to the wall if you wanted from various points all over it.
Exactly. It's the freedom. It's the freedom and having the open mind where don't care what you do. Top guy's the winner, or the bottom guy's the winner, and this is what we're looking for. It's the end start from the end position, and you can just. It's like so free. You can start it from anywhere. Mini games, man. You know what I mean?
But at that point, you've got all the underpinning concepts in your head.
Yeah.
You know why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
I think that's the important part. Is get those. They are the things that need banging into someone's head, because then you can just leave them to do that kind of stuff. Otherwise, like I said, there's no point. Again, it's what would drive a brown belt insane. Is if it were if I was to make you come. Say if we had a new, we opened the class back up, right, we're doing triangles today. I think you would lose your marbles if it was then just okay, I want you to do 15 triangles on each side or some other arbitrary number. Again, I hate arbitrary numbers in jiu-jitsu because we put them in everywhere. Oh, we need to do 10 reps on either side, or it needs to be a 5-minute exposure to this position, and we'll come back in 5 minutes time. Or we're going to cover this subject for 4 weeks, or we're going to cover it for 8 weeks, and then we're going to do 4 weeks on the next subject. It's like, why? Why the numbers?
Yeah.
We need structure, I guess, in our human brains, but maybe some subjects need longer than 5 minutes or 20 reps or 4 weeks. Maybe some don't need as much. Maybe they need 2 minutes. It should be more on the coach to actually have a grasp of what the room is doing and going, right, how are we doing with this? You guys still suck. We'll be at this a bit longer. Or no, you guys are kicking the ass out of it. Let's just leave it here. Put it in the bank of shit we know. Do you agree?
I agree, man, and it weeds out a lot of shit as well, like reactions which you wouldn't really do in a spar. And again, it's that freedom, because you can then is that hitting that pause button again and being able to like, okay, this is wrong, or this isn't working, do it this way. It's just a big full circle, isn't it, man?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we agree on those things. It's almost like you're a student of mine. This isn't a debate. Could never debate. Maybe we should see if we can get someone in to debate.
Yeah, we should have like more people joining us, man. It'd be sick.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. But maybe that's something we can put on the Discord channel. Those just discussions kind of go off the rails a little bit. I keep like my phone like notifies me all the time. I'm like, oh my god, where's it gone now? It's like it's changed since I was last there. Maybe we should like invite people to. Maybe what we need to do is, even if they can't come on the Zoom call with us, I would do it right now. Maybe we should make it live. Like we're going live now. Like talk on the Discord and ask us questions, and then argue with us. Like
when the gym's open, when the gym's open, we can be in one place, and then just us two, we'll just sit, and then we'll go live and fucking beef with people online.
Yeah, dude, let's do that.
Be jiu-jitsu trolls.
Yeah, anyone that like listening and thinks that's a damn good idea, go on the Discord and tell us. If you think no, I've got no interest in that idea whatsoever, you clowns, go on the Discord and tell us anyway. I like to hear. Yeah. We've got so much to do when we get back in the gym. Like,
oh man, I was thinking today. I was like, oh, got so many things
run
to
a
do.
gym.
Yeah, and
running a gym as well. But like the technique videos that we banked up over the past X number of months, and recording and narrating the rolls. Like I want like get the gimbal out and have someone like record me and you rolling, and I'm just going to narrate the shit out of it and put that up. And like, here we have Naqi hunting for my left arm to stop me from doing this. What Naqi does not know.
Sound like David Attenborough.
It's going to be like that. It's going to be unbearable for anyone listening. Plus, obviously, then people uploading their roles. I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see what other people do.
Yeah, man. That'd be interesting.
Harass them for why they're doing it. I don't really care what people do as long as they understand why they're doing it. Give me a full recount as to why. Because it works, I don't really care. As long as it fits the concept and they understand why that concept is there, I don't really care. I think that would solve a lot of the questions that were coming up in that podcast.
Yeah.
As long as people understand the concepts, it answers offense and defense.
Exactly. Who cares? It's up to them then. They know, they've got the understanding. It's up to them what game they want to play.
But if you understand the concept, you get both parts.
Yeah.
Like if you understand, like, I don't know, like the joint lock principle of above and below the joint you want, and freeing one of those joints to help facilitate your escape, you've got offense and defense. Because your offense is going to say, isolate those joints more. Your defense is going to say, don't let them isolate those joints.
Exactly, man. It's as simple as that sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like then they can obviously, you research around it. Maybe that's a very simplified way of looking at it, but that's what I was kind of getting at. It's like, you're saying the same thing. Anyway, that's our reaction video to the Sonny Brown breakdown of Preet versus Andy from School of Grappling. We enjoyed it, despite how this podcast might have come about, as in this Reap of the Week of maybe me and Naqi disagreeing. We enjoyed it. It was just a different texture of meat to what we were expecting. It wasn't flame grilled barbecued steak. It was pate. Nice pate, just different.
Yeah, I agree, man. But I think it's good if there's more debates like that, and you also obviously Preet doesn't care. I love how the fact that he just does not care. He'll just debate with anyone or talk to anyone. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. Chance of it happening are slim. Let's see if I can get Andy on this. It'd be fun to talk to him as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You said this about my dad. Like, when I was in Amsterdam at that 10th Planet camp, I was with Raoul over there, and like, because obviously we both learned from Preet, and like he's really enjoying Preet stuff as well. Like we'd roll, and like he'd do something. I'm like, "Don't do it, Dad's watching." Like, what do you mean? Dad's over there. So who's Dad? Like Preet. Don't listen to him, Dad. Pissed them both off, but we're never going to get him back from the seminar at this rate.
No.
Oh, it's worth a shot. Well, I hope you're having fun back at work. I hope you are keeping fit and well, and I'll see you back in the gym shortly, dude.
Yeah, same.
As always. Hope everyone enjoyed listening to that podcast. Feedback is welcome as always. And sorry for that. Actually, quickly. Sorry for the week off. It was Easter. We're not going anywhere. We're still here. Unfortunately for you. So, yes, thank you, dude. It was a pleasure. Thank you for everyone to listen to this. It's been a fun hour, and we'll see you next week.
See you in a bit.
Okay, dude. Blue.